Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. I wish I didn't delete the blooper that I just had. So there's a tilt feature in this chair. I'll show you it. I'm just gonna, yeah, like that. Little bar. I had it pulled out for whatever reason, not pushed in like I usually do, and I almost fell on my face when I tried to do my introduction. I wish I would have kept the recording, but I did delete it. Anyway, today we're talking about My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 3. We're going to start this one out with young Midoriya, Mr. Deku, seeing the founders of One For All. Well, seeing the past users, I should say, the original user, talking about All For One as well. And then, as I figured he would go to, he kind of rushed to All Might to kind of explain the situation, that he saw everybody, that he was talking to the original user of One For All, and that he got to see the story that we got to see last episode with how the power One For All got to be where it is today. That Deku is the 9th user of it. He didn't really get to see All Might. He said All Might was kind of shadowed out, and that makes sense because All Might is still alive at this point in time. And then there's also those two other users. So I think maybe one of the people that were shadowed out was All Might, and the other one possibly was Bakugo. I'm sure we'll get some more information on that in the future. But that was kind of like the first 5-10 minutes of the episode, something along those lines, roughly. And we didn't really get a whole lot of information besides getting to see that nice little shot that I probably have up on the screen with all the past users of One For All. I'm sure we'll get to have more conversations with them later on as Deku further awakens the percentage that he can use. He was told by the original user that he's only at about 20% right now, so I'm guessing that, kind of limits the conversations he can have with these people. If he's only at 20%, he needs to get a lot more powerful before he's able to have a full conversation with these other past users to get more information about the quirk, to get more information about how the other users use the quirk, and possibly get Deku stronger to a point where he'll be able to defeat Shigaraki in the future, defeat All For One, and then happily ever after, good to go. We also got to see Shinso. He is back, if you remember him from a couple of arcs ago. I don't think he was in Season 4 at all. He was in the tournament arc. I think that was back in Season 3, if I remember correctly. If you're not familiar with him, he is my thumbnail for today because his abilities got a lot cooler with the, kind of hero support gear that he is wearing. He's the guy that is able to control people's minds when they talk to him, and his hero support gear is now able to somehow transfer his ability to talk through somebody else, I think is how it's working. We don't have a full explanation of it. I'm sure we'll get a full explanation of it more in episode 4, but he basically has this kind of mask-looking muzzle thing. Almost reminds me of Bane a little bit from Batman, and he's able to control other people fairly well. Speaking of that, he is also trying to get in the hero course. So he has a limited time. He feels like he's finally at the starting line. He understands that he's behind everybody else in terms of studying up in the hero course because he's in the normal class, but he really wants to become a hero, and I hope we get to see a little bit more of him through this class 1A versus 1B next couple of episodes. And it's probably going to be a little bit of an arc going to span the next several episodes, showing how both of their powers have grown since the tournament. Since they fought there against each other as well. And we are going to get to see a Shinso versus Deku rematch at some point in time because he is kind of the odd one out. There's 40 altogether. There's 20 in each class. He's 41. So to make it fair, in one instance, he's going to be on Team B. Another instance, he's going to be on Team A. So that way he can show off his abilities to the fullest to see whether or not Aizawa, or Eraserhead, if you'd like to call him, allows him to join the hero course. I don't know what class he would end up joining, but I think there is a good possibility that we will see him in the hero course in the foreseeable future. So kind of going right into the battle part of it, we got to see Asui's big old fat dump truck, and I'm not even exaggerating. I really do not understand why the animators had to do this. They thought it would be cute and quirky because she was in camouflage, but I'll put up the screenshot and you can see for yourself. I altered the color a little bit so you can see it better, but yeah, her suit's going right up the old butt crack, like really hard, like you can see everything, nothing is left to the imagination. And this is supposed to be something, you know, I think for like the 12, like starting out range, I believe is like 12-year-olds. Do we really need that in this right now? I mean, I personally don't care. I was like, oh my God, why are they doing that? I thought it was kind of funny. And there's no, you know, skipping of sexual innuendos throughout this series. They've used them before. I'm sure they'll use them again. But good God, to make it an entire frame and just sit there where I can pause it and take a screenshot of it, that is just a little bit ridiculous. So let's go get straight into the fight. So Kota is using his Anaquirk voice, or whatever, any voice, whatever you like to call it, to have a couple of pigeons scout to see where everybody is. The girl with vines they are very worried about. She is definitely very strong. She beat up Kirin or Kamari Denki. There we go. I'm going to use his first name because I can't pronounce his last name. The Lightning Bolt Kid. She messed him up really bad, and they think that she's the most powerful member on their team. So their goal is to take her out right away. And then we have Mr. Beast Titan guy. Is literally, he reminds me of the Beast Titan. I wonder if that's where they got that idea from for his quirks. His name is Geronta Shinshida, and he looks like a Bigfoot. Basically, imagine Bigfoot. That's exactly what it looks like. Very strong, very acute sense of smell. He just comes charging in, knocks Asabi down, among a couple others. And that's when Shinso manages to use his new gear as we end the episode in order to stop him from beating the crap out of everybody. Because at this point, it is 5 against 2, so there is a good possibility because of this scenario that they'll be able to put a stop to both of them and basically just be good to go for the foreseeable future. The other guy, I believe it is Sen Kibra, if I am remembering correctly. He has this kind of cool ability. If you remember, I believe it was one of the Kage and Naruto had this kind of air sphere force field thing that he could trap people in. Similar ability to that, where he can basically create a giant air force field, trap people inside of it, and then they obviously can't move. You know, he can I'm assuming he can just kind of lift the air force field, put them in the cage, and they are good to go. The exact winner of the battles is there's no time limit. It's whoever gets 4 members in the jail cell, cute little jail cell. It's got the principal. He's got an outline of it. I thought it was kind of cute. They have to get 4 members in that jail cell, and then that's when they win. I don't really know what they're going to do for the winners per se. I definitely see Class 1B winning possibly half of them. Even All Might said it himself, while Class 1A has had more actual combat training, Class 1B has been, steadily increasing. So Class 1A is, their grades haven't necessarily been steadily increasing, but their physical abilities have, where Class 1B, their mental abilities have slowly increased as well, studying up more, having more time to study. So I think it's going to be a fair matchup between the two. We'll see. I think this is going to be more of a Shinso arc anyway, where hopefully he gets his little bit of a redemption. He does seem to be a fan favorite. Everybody likes the mind control thing. He could definitely use that for evil, but he is choosing to use it for good. So I really want to see him get his full redemption. I want to see him be able to fully get into the hero course. So what's not really done in this episode is the Todorokis, which I'm assuming we're going to get more information from this season as well. That was kind of left out. Didn't get a whole lot with there. League of Villains has not made an appearance yet at all. Hawk's Endeavor hasn't made an appearance. So I think that stuff is probably going to get pushed to the side burners a little bit until this little arc is over. I'm guessing probably 3 to 5 episodes of this season is going to be primarily based on that. I don't foresee anything, majorly different happening next episode. I think it's just going to be all the teams fighting each other, unless they plan on doing it super quick, which would also be a little bit of a problem because you want to see all the new abilities of Class 1B. We understand that they're not really the main characters in the show, but it's kind of nice to see how all the other kids are developing, seeing different quirks. I think that's part of it too, is just showing off different quirks than the main characters over and over and over again, because it can get a little bit stale, which makes sense. But a lot of different plot points going on. What I think is going to, as I said, what I think is probably going to happen next episode, we're not going to see anything with the League of Villains, probably nothing with Endeavor at all. I think it's just primarily going to be the fighting arc. Maybe we'll get some internal monologue with All Might talking about how they both, gained abilities, things along those lines. I thought it was kind of funny because, what is it, Asui? No, Mina. She was like, oh, are you and is Midnight and All Might dating? And then Midnight is just immediately like, no, I don't go for older men. And I was like, well, it's kind of funny how they did that. And they're just like a cute little flirty thing. We'll give this episode a good 7 out of 10. Decent episode overall, not the best, not the worst by any means. I've been enjoying the season so far. Episode 1 kind of meh, because, just to recap, not a lot going on here. Episode 2, I really liked episode 2. I think I gave that one an 8. This one we'll give a 7. Probably going to be a higher rating next episode as well, because this is more of just a setup episode again. There's a little bit of fighting, not a lot, but kind of a setup for what's going to happen in the next couple of episodes. So we'll leave it at that. My name is Steve Gray. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like and comment down below what you would like me to do for future anime and cartoon related videos. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.